Hi everyone, it's Gary Nicholson here for the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your Planning Outlook video updated on Friday the 4th of May. Now, a bit of a mixture this May Day weekend. Much of England and Wales will be fine, but Scotland, particularly in the west, sees some low cloud and some drizzly rain, with strong winds too across the Highlands at times. And the trend for next week is fairly mixed. Rainfall mostly focused on western Scotland, temperatures just dropping a little bit into the middle of the week. Indications towards mid-May look fairly optimistic though. Just a reminder that there's still plenty of snow cover in place across the Scottish Highlands, and this scene from the Cairngorms earlier in the week shows what things were like, and not much changing through this weekend and even beyond. The snowpack in places blocking some of the routes onto the higher Munros, not everywhere exactly the same, so try and find some local information before heading up onto specific higher areas. But be prepared to come across that snow, and you may have to do some clambering over it or divert around where there's great depths onto some of the higher areas, so just one to be prepared for. Let's have a look at the charts in the short term first of all, and for Saturday high pressure is centred towards the south. We've got a fair day for England and Wales. Early low cloud and fog around some of the hills will tend to break up. Some coastal fog hanging around Irish Sea coast may just stay in place, particularly towards Dumfries and Galloway. Low cloud across western Scotland as the southwesterly flow trails in from the Atlantic, so plenty of moisture available. Bits of drizzle and rain on and off, I think, across the Western Highlands. Not too much getting towards the far north, though. Once you're north of about Torridon, the rainfall amounts fairly small. Spits and spots passing eastwards across the Highlands, and a windy day up to gale force for a time at least in the northwest. Into Sunday, and a similar picture overall. We've got high pressure to the south. We've got fronts trailing past north and northwest Scotland, bringing some persistent rain to Skye and again areas across the northwest Highlands in Wester Ross. That could be some heavier rain in there at times. Not too much south of that. Drizzly rain coming onto the West Highlands and very little reaching the central and eastern parts of Scotland. For England and Wales, extensively dry with some sunshine pretty widely. Just a few patches of cloud around, mainly in the mornings. By Monday, the flow is turning a little bit more towards the south, a warm front edging northward. Some uncertainty on exactly what this does. It could mean that there's banks of low cloud across the south and southwest Highlands that breaks towards the north. Maybe some drizzly rain edging northwards on that though, so just watch your details there. Shouldn't come to a great deal for many. Again, England and Wales doing the best of all for sunniest skies and pretty warm conditions and light winds. Subtle changes into Tuesday, still a warm and dry day for England and Wales. A cold front though moving into Scotland, producing some rain and showers coming in from the west, southwesterly winds strengthening, and temperatures just starting to lower as well from the west by this time. By Wednesday, it looks as though there's some further fronts coming off the Atlantic. The risk of wind strengthening more up to gale force as this area of low pressure moves in, rain becoming heavier across the Western Highlands, and even some snow again on the very highest tops. Less in the way of rain, maybe just a few showers for England and Wales. A look at temperatures then, and this is the 850 millibar chart. Now that level in the atmosphere is just a bit higher than the Scottish tops at the current time, and will be, I think, even into next week. So the values shown here are maybe just a degree or so too cold comparatively to what you may find on the Scottish tops, but it gives us a usable steer nevertheless. You'll be extensively above freezing through the weekend, 4 or 5 degrees or above on the higher Scottish tops, nearer to double figures, even in places across England and Wales with some sunshine. Changes subtly then into the new week. You might just be only a degree or so above freezing across the high tops in Scotland through Tuesday into Wednesday, and a chance that towards the later part of the week, Thursday, Friday, that we just dip below freezing for a time on some higher Scottish summits. The freezing level may be down to around 1100-1200 metres, a chance briefly lower, but I think it's mostly above that, so only just dipping below freezing on the very highest tops, and I fancy towards next weekend you'll be slightly milder again. It could still be that that freezing level does come back down just temporarily into west and northwest Scotland. So as we run through midweek, we've got the area of low pressure that's over the North Atlantic just bothering us. We've got that west to southwesterly flow in charge. High pressure is just split apart a little bit. One area is towards Scandinavia, another is over the Atlantic towards the Azores at this stage. So we're drawing in a fairly changeable pattern. I think the idea of some showers, most rainfall towards western Scotland, not too much towards the south of Britain where high pressure is still nearby. Winds at their strongest across the Scottish Highlands up to gale force at times, generally lighter further towards the south. It looks a similar sort of theme heading towards the following weekend, the 12th, 13th of May. A bit of a trough coming in from the Atlantic. The dip in the colours, as shown here, indicates a trough in the middle layers of the atmosphere, and that's what we use really to try and get the general theme. We can't get the absolute detail out of it, but that position gives us the idea of being changeable, I suppose, toward the weekend, although maybe not badly unsettled because high pressure isn't too far away from us. And the indications heading towards mid-May is that higher pressure will try and build back in, so even if we do see a blip of poorer weather, I fancy things do become drier for longer as we head into mid-month. And that's the 7-day pressure trend through until the 17th of May, and it shows the two zones of high pressure that I just mentioned, one over the Atlantic, the other over Scandinavia, and both nearby. Which one has the greater influence eventually then is crucial as to how things pan out later in the month. The idea is that the jet stream is being steered just past northwest Scotland, more or less where the colours change from the reds to the greens and blues. So always that chance of just something more changeable passing the west and northwest Highlands, but elsewhere across Britain, across England, Wales and eastern Scotland, commonly dry conditions should be the order of things through the middle part of the month. So we'll see how that develops, and we'll update you on the outlook towards next weekend in the next planning video online for you on Tuesday. Thanks for watching, bye for now.